Okay, so hi, I'm Stefan. I'm a local wedding photographer and videographer, and I'm sitting here with Erin from Ferncroft, and we're doing the first episode of the Buffalo Wedding Vendor podcast. It's going to be called with the subtitle of Between Two Ferncrofts, just because I really like your work and I want to just place it in every episode. Okay, Erin, just tell me about yourself. What do you do? What do you do?
I'm a floral designer at Ferncroft, which is a small business I started 5 years ago. And our studio and retail space is located in the Elmwood Village, and we service funerals. We do accounts for hotels, restaurants, and design for weddings, as well as everyday deliveries.
Cool. What do you want to name who you work with, like some of your clients or some of the hotels?
So our most challenging and rewarding is the Hotel Henry. The space is really large and the ceilings are very tall, so it kind of, you don't get away with just, something simple, or not simple but small and petite. It has to be large gestures, and really visually impacting from a distance, but then up close, details don't necessarily matter, whereas details in a smaller arrangement on a coffee table or a bridal bouquet, details matter. But whereas Hotel Henry, it's just that big visual impact right away. So that's when we started exploring new material options and have been working with new types of vendors like farmers and just specialized growers who can get us these certain materials.
Cool. What kind of farmers are those?
12-foot salix or something like that.
Yeah. What kind of farmers are those? Are they all local?
Yeah. So that's another thing that's sort of in our philosophy of our business, is that emphasis on local, sustainable, and environmental. So a lot of times the materials that we're working with and have in the shop are seasonal. And so when people call and say, oh, do you have, my red rose? It's no, I don't have your red rose, but maybe in June to October.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so just tell me a little bit about yourself, how you started this, how long have you been in business, what did you do before?
So as I said, we've been in business for 5 years. I worked as a graphic designer before Ferncroft, and I still really do work as a graphic designer. I should just call myself a designer, but branding primarily. I worked at the Buffalo News for a little bit and just did some layouts and advertisement design as well. I used those jobs really early on. I knew that I wanted to start my own business and had always had my foot in some type of entrepreneurial way of crafting. So I did letterpress and screen printing. It was always right away, okay, how do I sell this? Had an Etsy account and things like that. Yeah. So the experience in branding and graphic design has enabled me to allow all of those pursuits to turn into business, because I knew the coding that needs to take place to be able to effectively market and generate value and then revenue. Excuse me. So with Ferncroft, it was a little bit accidental. I didn't necessarily think that this was going to turn into a business. I was interested in photographing my flower arrangements, and with the set of social media, Instagram, I had just joined Instagram 6 years ago. It really wasn't that popular. I don't know when Instagram started, but I started posting photos of my flower arrangements, and then slowly started having all these like different followers from all over the country, and then as well as the world. Like we have followers from like Japan, and that's my most exciting base, though. Because I really love their aesthetic. But so I'm like, whoa, there's something here, because there was interest in the arrangements, and I think that maybe I wouldn't have pursued it had I not had a response.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Cool. So let's talk about like weddings a little bit more. What do you typically do for weddings?
So our wedding work starts on a Tuesday, and that's me going out into the field or like the local farms and starting to get our local materials. We forage a lot for our like foundation, our greenery, or another term would be filler.
Mm-hmm.
So we like to use like a lot of wild grasses. It's so hard to get to like really get as detailed as possible, but a lot of work goes into the materials that go into that wedding on Saturday. So, and then on about Friday or Thursday, we're starting to get our shipments in from, if we get order roses, they're coming from California, and those are being overnighted to us, and those come in on Friday. And the reason that I do that is because they're garden roses, they're very fragile, so it's kind of like scary in a way, because you're a little bit of a chance taking, which I kind of like that thrill, because that also enables like, okay, so, that didn't come through, and critical thinking has to, take place, and how can we be very resourceful, stay creative, and come up with a beautiful product. So, did that answer the question?
Yeah, I mean, you said you started on Tuesday, and then what do you typically do? You do like stuff in churches? Do you do stuff more at the reception place, or like, I mean, sometimes it's a ceremony somewhere else? Like, what is it that we actually deliver? Like, what's the final product?
We do a lot of table centerpieces. We do bridal bouquets. We do ceremony work. Mm-hmm. I encourage that to be like multi-purposed. Something that can also be taken back to the venue after the ceremony's over. But then we create structures as well. Last year we made an arbor completely out of apple and willow branches, and it was like self-supporting. It was amazing. And that was because I was just so disgusted with the original image that the bride had showed of this little stick thing with like eucalyptus on it. And I wanted something so robust and natural and amazing, and I didn't really care if like my hours going into it, exceeded the cost that I charged her. Yeah. Because, and I think this is a good advice for anyone starting. It's really important to have the best product available and develop your portfolio. And also, it was a new type of project, and now I know that I can do that. And it can also be incorporated into like my garden work that I was talking about. So I do love designing for ceremonies, though, because I think that the wedding ceremony itself is super sacred. Yeah,
cool. How would you describe like your ideal client, like more focused on weddings too?
So my ideal client is very trusting and allows me full creative freedom. That doesn't happen like that often, which is good in a way too, because I like to have a little guidance, and also their personal taste is really important too. And I think like sometimes personal taste can just come down to, when working with flowers and meeting with your florist, is colors that you are drawn to. So I try to limit emails though a little bit, because doing a lot of weddings, it's very overwhelming, and so we usually have a 1 month meeting And so at that point, all the pertinent details are just laid out, and these are the flowers that we're going to use because this is what's best right now, and this is what's in season, and these are the colors we're going to use. But we don't ever sit down at our consultations and show you books of arrangements that we've already done. You can look at our portfolios and all of the work that we have available, but your bouquet is not probably going to be like that. It's always going to be custom and original and new.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's go a little bit about like you told me that you originally started as like a graphic design person. You already said something about that too. So you are from Buffalo, but you also went to Boston. So what was your experience there? What did you do there?
That's where I finished school, and I felt that I went to a really good art school there, and the teachers were just really amazing. And the other things that I had exposure to, just being around so many other college campuses and people. I had a brief stint dating this guy who was going to Harvard graduate for architecture, and so I got to go to a couple design meetings with him, and it just changes you and changes how you think and act. It's like next level basically. So I brought that thinking back here, but I've been back now for almost 8 years, and I'm starting to feel a little brain drain. I'm not gonna lie. So I've been trying to travel more to punch it up, and I think also the phones and computers have a big problem with that too, because it's just it's
a lot to process,
mind draining. But yeah, so really just my exposure and to all the great galleries and museums there, and the teachers, I think has had a big influence on my work now.
Cool. And do you have anything where you want what you want your business to evolve in, or anything you want to do next? Any other projects you want to talk about? Yeah,
so I just was telling someone that my dreams are very multifaceted. So I'm a really hard person to please, because it's always the next thing. And so lately I've been really trying to just say, okay, it's pretty good right where we are right now. And just to really look back and take it all in, because 4 years ago I was working out of my garage. So this studio is pretty great, and it's little things like that. I'm always oh, well, we need this lighting fixture here, and we need more of this, and we need this. So sometimes I'm a little, things go too slow, but then I realize slow growth is probably the most sustainable and good growth. So for me right now, I see really working on our website to have everything that we offer in here available online in a really beautifully curated way. So I've been getting back into my own personal photography, and just trying to shoot product imagery, things like that. Also offering garden design services, and then just constantly trying to become a better floral designer. So just always taking pictures of my work, looking at it, studying it. What did I fail? What could I have done better? And things like that.
Cool. All right. I think that's it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.